1. Hyenas in human form. No good Indians, except those that are dead. Chicago Tribune headline, January 3, 1891. Of all the political panics in American history, none has been more deadly than that which fueled the ethnic cleansing of the people who populated what is now the United States prior to the arrival of Europeans. Far more unarmed Native American women, children, and elderly were killed in the United States than all the people killed in the nation's other political panics combined. The treatment of Native Americans provides insight into a fundamental question regarding political panic. When is violence against a group of people an act of panic as opposed to an act of war? From the colonial era through the 19th century, whites often viewed Native Americans as a threat to the expansion of settlements believed necessary for economic and political security. One of the first such conflicts was the Pequot War, 1637-38. In that war, panic clearly surfaced when the colonists surrounded a fortified Pequot encampment and, recognizing the danger of charging into it, opted to burn it and kill anyone who tried to escape the flames, including women, children, and the elderly. Any Pequot was thus regarded as a threat. Commanding Officer John Mason justified this killing of women and children when he wrote in his report, "But God was above them, who laughed his enemies and the enemies of his people to scorn, making them as a fiery oven. Thus did the Lord judge among the heathen, filling the place with dead bodies." It is conceivable that God favored the colonists over the Pequots, but it is not verifiable. As in the actions taken against accused witches, people were killed on the basis of an unverified claim. Actions based on unverified claims are not, in and of themselves, acts of panic, since we often act on the basis of assumptions. What is beginning to surface from the witchcraft panic and the massacre of the Pequots, however, is that an individual is susceptible to panic to the extent that he or she acts on the basis of unverified claims. Panic in the newly born United States. In both the American Revolution and the War of 1812, Native Americans fought on both sides, based on what each tribe perceived to be its political best interest. In August 1813, Creek Indians from the Red Sticks tribe attacked American forces at Fort Mims in Alabama, where many non-combatants had sought safety. In this instance, it was the Native Americans who set fire to the premises, resulting in the deaths of scores of unarmed elderly, women, and children, and demonstrating that Native Americans, too, are susceptible to panic. The massacre of whites at Fort Mims also illustrates other elements that recur in political panic. The first of these is, not surprisingly, panic breeds panic. This element can be seen in the Universal Gazette of Washington, D.C. Its October 29, 1813 report on the massacre described the Red Sticks as savages who lack feelings of common humanity. This stereotype is, in turn, predicated on two elements that recur in political panics right up to the present day. One of these elements is the use of an absolute, in this instance, the assertion that all Red Sticks lack empathetic feelings. The assertion is akin to the absolute implicit in John Mason's claim regarding God's condemnation of all the Pequots. Surfacing as well in the Gazette statement is the use of a filtered fact. The absolute the newspaper applied to the Red Sticks filtered out white people who had also indiscriminately killed men, women, and children. Indeed, in a subsequent engagement with the Red Sticks during the War of 1812, General Andrew Jackson made no secret of such genocidal intentions when he wrote of the Battle of Horseshoe Bend. "Determining to exterminate them, I detached General Coffee to surround the bend in such a manner as none of them should escape," he wrote. After killing more than 550 who were now trapped on a peninsula, Jackson reported that his men continued to destroy many of them who had concealed themselves under the banks of the river until we were prevented by night. The murders resumed at sunrise. During Jackson's presidency, panic regarding Native Americans helped fuel the federal government's premier act of legislated ethnic cleansing,